Hello there, everyone. Sam Leterna here, joined by the amazing Alyssa Marino, and we are talking all things Wrestival 2022. If you don't know about it already, Wrestival is going to be taking place at the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts on December 29th until December 31st. We're going to be kicking off New Year's in the White Eagle. It's going to be amazing. And we have 3 days worth of awesome wrestling. We're going to be kicking off day one and discussing day one of Wrestival here today. So let's get it started with Pizza Party Pro. They're going to be kicking off Wrestival weekend for us with their show Pop at 3 p.m. at the White Eagle, Alyssa. And I, for one, am really excited about Fisto versus Kennedy Copeland, a first-time matchup.
This is really a special matchup. And first of all, I am a big fan of the alliteration of Pizza Party Pro, pop, pop. Super fun. This is, I think, a really... In kind of digging into this matchup a little bit more, I know that Kennedy had shared on Instagram or on Twitter, I believe, that this match was supposed to happen a while back, but she actually had a death in her family, and she stepped away from wrestling, and she really considers this kind of a full circle moment. So I feel like this is going to be something that is, very, very emotional, and honestly, I think really means a lot to Kennedy and means a lot to Fisto as well. I know a while back when she had addressed this, Fisto was incredibly supportive and sent a lot of love in the message. And I think both parties and all the fans that are going to be in attendance are going to be super, super stoked to see these two badass ladies collide, to kick things off for Wrestival. Like, there's so much emotion behind this, and there's just a really exciting opportunity to see this kind of first time matchup.
I couldn't agree more. I think that we have Fisto, who in many ways was the innovator of female hardcore, and then Kennedy, who has really taken the helm of that over the past year or two on the independent wrestling scene, wrestling the likes of Matt Tremont, Brandon Kirk, Casey Cattell, all of these hardcore and deathmatch stalwarts. So this is kind of like a collision of generations within the hardcore community. And I think that fans of the hardcore genre and fans of wrestling in general are really going to be able to bite their teeth into this. And to your point, there's a lot of respect between these two ladies, but I think in the ring, we're going to find that might go out the window, because what a notch in Kennedy Copeland's belt it would be to get a win over Fisto. And Fisto, returning to the indies this year, of course, wants to end the year strong.
1,000%. Yeah, this is definitely, I think, it's a way to really measure yourself, and it puts a lot of pressure and a lot on the line for Kennedy to prove yourself against like the badass of hardcore. It's super, super exciting. Also, another thing for me that I was super excited to see on this card is that the Kings of the District are in action, but in singles competition. We have Eel O'Neill against Brother Greatness and Jordan Blade against Marcus Mathers. That is something that I am definitely excited to be seeing.
Yeah, I don't think that I've seen a Jordan Blade Marcus Mathers match. Don't know if one has happened live yet. So I think that's going to be extremely competitive, a clash of styles for sure. And then Eel's got a lot to contend with that weekend. Quite a few singles matches. I'm looking forward to seeing him really come out into his own that weekend of Wrestival. But we also have a really awesome, fun match that I have a lot of questions about. I'm kind of wondering how it's going to go down. The floor is lava, where the winner is going to get a souvenir drink helmet, which I would personally like. I'd go in the match for a chance at a drink helmet. But
Sam, are you going to be like the dark horse that's just going to come into that?
Yep.
Okay, Sam might be sliding in the ring.
Yep, I'm ready.
Wants the
I'm ready.
novelty drink helmet.
I've been working out. No, I'm just kidding. But we are going to be seeing Big Game Leroy, Shay McCoy, King Crab, Kid Magic, Big Dan Champion, Pancakes, and Bobby Orlando in this match. How are these wrestlers going to tactically use the White Eagle? Is this going to be a matter of familiarity? People like perhaps Bobby, who really are intimately aware of every nook and cranny of the White Eagle, maybe he's going to have an advantage in that way. But then someone like Big Dan, who's very physically imposing, it might actually be up to him to really be more tactful in the movement of his body, because there's a lot of man there. Is he going to be jumping in and out of the ring? Are they going to be using chairs? Are they going to go on the bar? Is there going to be lava on the floor? These are questions I have, Alyssa.
Yeah, these are the pressing questions that we need to know, because I need to make sure first and foremost that Bobby Jr. is okay and escapes this match unscathed, because, you know, Bobby Orlando and Bobby Jr. have a very busy weekend as well. So I just want to make sure that everything is okay and on the up and up. This sounds like a very dangerous kind of situation, but a lot is on the line with the novelty drink helmet as well. So there's a lot of questions here. I need to know how this is all going to play out with the floor being lava. I really do.
Guys, tickets for Pizza Party Pop, they are $15 and they're available on shop IWTV.com. So snatch those up, start Wrestival with a bang. But moving on, the second show of day two is going to be Wrestling Open in its home at the White Eagle. Last stand, we're going to have a steel cage warfare match. Pedro Donez, main event, and Brad Hollister versus the Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando. Alyssa, break this one down for me.
So there is so much tension between both sides of this equation. They're at the point where it even brought words other than Ichiban number and one out of the vocabulary of Ichiban. I swear to you, Ichiban was the one that said steel cage warfare. This is going to be absolutely incredible. This has been, I mean, main event, we've seen them take a little bit of a turn under the I guess under the tutelage, under the guidance of Pedro Donez. And I think Brad Hollister just wants to throw himself into scrap with anything that moves, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think we really have an exciting matchup here because Miracle Ones are such a well-oiled machine. I mean, Bobby Orlando and of course Bobby Jr. If they escape from the floor being lava, of course,
we'll have to see.
have to see. They're really going to be, I think, a force to be reckoned with. But this is something that has been brewing over the weeks at Wrestling Open. Of course, people can catch up on these episodes over on IWTV. It's definitely been in the works, and we have finally reached a boiling point where I think that a steel cage is the only way that is going to keep these parties contained. It's combustible at this point, Sam.
And when you bring a steel cage into the equation, I think the level of carnage, especially compared to the usual, relatively clean wrestling matches we're used to seeing at Wrestling Open, this is just going to be a new level for them to really bring that animosity to a head. But my only concern with this is on the side of main event Donez and Hollister. Big egos on that team. So are they going to be able to all work together, namely Hollister with Donez and main event? We'll have to see. But who's your pick to win, Alyssa?
Oh gosh. I mean, I have to give it to Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando. I feel like they fight on the side of good. I mean, Miracle Ones have been, Miracle Generation and Ichiban, even as separate entities, have been on such a tear through this year. They really feel unstoppable to me, Sam. And unless something wild and underhanded happens, which I hope that the element of a steel cage might help to prevent somehow. I don't know.
I hope so.
At least some outside interference can maybe be shut down. But I definitely give it to Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando. How about you?
I'm going to have to concur with you because I think that just all of those people have been on such a tear at Wrestling Open and beyond, no pun intended, but also at beyond. So it's really their time, and we have the Miracle Generation that's going to be competing in the T4 Tag Team Summit. So just really big weekend. All of these people have to stay focused. We have Ichiban against Anthony Henry. At Heavy Lies the Crown. So yeah, Bobby Orlando too. There's just so much more action coming at you at Wrestling Open. Stay tuned. Follow Twitter, okay, at Wrestling Open for all of the latest developments on that. And get your tickets, $20, people, $20 on shop IWTV.com. And have I mentioned we have packages for the whole weekend? Save some money, get the whole thing. It gives you access to all live events at Wrestival. But I guess ending the day one evening, but certainly with a bang, possibly literal bangs with steel chairs and other weapons. We're going to have ICW Pit Fighter 14. The pit is coming to White Eagle. They go live at 11 p.m. on IWTV, and we're going to see the new champion, Brandon Kirk, who just defeated his wife, Casey Catal, days ago, go head-to-head with Matt Tremont for the American Deathmatch Championship. Brandon Kirk, new champion, going head-to-head against the guy in the Northeast for deathmatch wrestling, someone that everyone respects. Tremont has never held the American Deathmatch Championship. I personally think that this is his time.
But I think after such the hard fought battle that he went through with Casey, that Brandon's going to have a little bit of a, I mean, no pun intended, but a death grip on that championship. And Tremont is going to be hard pressed to take it away from the new champ in his first defense. Or, I mean, I guess at this point that it very well may be his first defense of the championship.
It could be. You never know
Yes,
what's going to happen at ICW between now and then. A lot
it,
of variables.
a lot of variables indeed. And also to Matt Tremont, someone that has accolades on accolades, world travel, has competed in so many deathmatch tournaments. I mean, this is just another notch in the belt, and it, by the sound of it, one of the few accolades that he has not been able to have to his name. So could that be even more of a driving force behind the bulldozer?
Could be. We'll have to see. The deathmatch championship that has thus far evaded him could be his at Wrestival, at Pit Fighter. Someone I'm also excited to see make their Wrestival, rather, Pit Fighter 14 debut is going to be Alec Price, who is having a first time matchup with Akira. Now, we know that Alec Price has been all over the country this year, tearing it up, but how is he going to fare in the pit with Akira, who is such a beloved member of the deathmatch and wrestling community, but he has really earned his stripes in the ICW chains. So I think that Alec Price is in for the fight of his life.
Well, and I think also the thing about Akira that makes him such a tough competitor is that yes, he is, a seasoned deathmatch competitor, but he also has such an incredible technical ability that sometimes we don't get to see a lot of, but it's definitely
Yeah.
in the back pocket of Akira. So I think that that's something that could certainly play a factor, but also I wonder about kind of the energy of the White Eagle. I mean, Alec Price, that's his territory. So
Oh
and
yeah.
and also, we need to see if Alec Price is even going to be allowed and cleared to compete in the White Eagle for this matchup to happen, because Sydney Bacabella had set forth the
Ah,
challenge. So, yeah, there are definitely factors at play. Like we said, lots of
there are.
variables for Restival, Sam.
Well, then we really don't know who Akira's opponent could be. Hopefully, it is Alec Price, but where there's a will, there's a way. And I have a feeling that Price, even though we have not seen him lately, is determined to get back into the White Eagle with the beloved constituency that he has there.
That's true.
Um, Also in action, we're going to be seeing Casey Kirk versus Hoodfoot, Slade versus John Wayne Murdoch, and the ETU Key to the East Championship will be defended by Masha Slamovich, going head to head for the first time with Danny DeMonto. This is a match that Masha has wanted for a while. She used to go to ICW, to independent shows as a kid. So I think this is another full circle moment for her to verse Danny DeMonto, a guy that's really willing to put his body on the line in the pit.
Yeah, and Danny being such a veteran since the early 2000s, actually competed, I believe, in the ETU Key to the East Championship tournament, was defeated in the first round. So could be a
Mm-hmm.
way of comeuppance to be able to potentially take the ETU Key to the East Championship from Masha Slamovich. But again,
Could
Slamovich
be.
is someone who's been on such a roll. There is a fire underneath, and I think it can just propel her further and further.
I agree. And the two never actually went head to head in that tournament. They evaded each other, and then she wound up going head to head with Bailey in the finals. So a lot of unfinished business here. We'll have to
Definitely.
see. But guys, that certainly covers day one of Restival. We're going to be coming at you with day two and day three. So stay tuned on all social media platforms. And of course, get your tickets to Restival at shop IWTV.com, taking place from December 29th to the 31st at the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts. And ICW tickets are $30, people. I forgot to mention that.
But also, too, if you're going to one of these events, you might as well go to the others because, as we said, you're not going to want to miss any of these matches.
And I'm just going to put it out there. The package, $200, people. It's the best deal in independent wrestling for live shows. And then you get to hang out with friends, feel the camaraderie of the White Eagle. It's such a special place. Have some drinks, have some food, enjoy yourself. Yes. I'm certainly excited for the Restival. If you can't tell, for me and Alyssa Marino, we will see you for day two and three of our Restival preview.